G'day everyone and welcome to episode 57, where I hope you are enjoying your long weekend or are about to start it. But this episode is pretty much just going to be a filler episode of me fixing up this Mr. Freeze area, as it kind of didn't work with this corner of the park, so I had to kind of shift it so that we weren't really cutting into where the Wild West area runs along. So for people that don't know or haven't visited the parks, they pretty much run parallel to each other. So it's only a fake facade on the front of these buildings, and then they pretty much have the Wild West buildings built onto the back of these. So it's very hard to recreate within this, with obviously how big we've been building these buildings and stuff like that. So the only other way would be if I went back in and shrunk them all down or rotated them like we did here. So it did take a long time for me to work out the design of this building. I was going to initially build something different and then have the Mr. Freeze area twisted to the right and sitting next to the building we built in the last episode, but I kind of decided on something different. Sort of, you'll see in the end, where I needed another seating area in this. So there's a little like median strip in the middle of this that separates kind of this park area, so I needed something kind of where guests could interact, and it looks like Mr. Freeze has come along to try and save Nora, but has been unsuccessful. But I also ended up trying to work out with the angle of this building the roofing, which took me a really long time to work out. So you'll see me do a couple of different designs here, and I suppose you've already seen the thumbnail for this video, so you'd know that what it eventually looks like. But I did like this, how it looked like a piece of DNA, but then yeah, it ended up just being too hard with what I wanted to create, because it's I really struggled with trying to build these, but then also imagining when I would obviously off camera stand pretty much in that blank piece of land there behind this building, looking into the back part of these. And a lot of these buildings I know I'm going to have to try and find a way to hide in a future episode. So I tried to minimize as much as I could, but we will deal with that in a future episode. So this is pretty much just me building just a little side alley, so staff would be able to walk along the back of this part of the park and pretty much go into the little stage that we built in the bank building, and guests would only be able to walk up to this fence. They wouldn't be able to go anywhere past it. So I really had to find a way to create the illusion of depth, and I think I found a really creative way of doing that, of having these buildings to kind of stack up so that you could stand anywhere in front of the Doomsday Coaster and still see these buildings through the sight line. But then also, if you went and stood right up against the fence, that you would be able to look kind of around the corner, but then see like this is an actual city that you're standing in, because this building is pretty much just like a massive painting, the two buildings that have the fake cityscape behind it. So I really wanted to create just a little bit more depth within it. So just filling up the alleyway with random stuff, like random junk. There's nothing exciting that happens in it. It's more just the city, just to make it look like it all fits together, because I really don't like how all these buildings are just butting up against each other in real life. So yes, as you've seen, dyeing the building there blue just to make it fit in a little bit more. So I always thought it'd be cool to watch a guest go all the way up. I did initially, as you can see here, plan to put a car in there. So with these videos going forwards, I'm not going to cut anything from now on. I'm just going to leave all of the silliness that I create with all of the ups, the downs, and just to show you guys that we're really getting into the nitty gritty of this now, where you guys understand how I create things now. And yeah, there's no point hiding that it's been very hard to create this part of the park. So I wanted it to look a little bit like a crime alley. So obviously where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, that's obviously the cinema there, but Poison Ivy's taking it over. And then I thought, well, why not just put a couple of Riddler question marks, maybe a couple of Riddler trophies back there that someone can solve annoyingly. So I think I found a nice balance of what works well for this park area. Like it's starting to really come together. The only big problem that I've run into now is the Joker and Harley Quinn area that I've wanted to build in between these two buildings. So obviously what we built in the last episode and what we've done in today's episode. I'm really struggling with what I can create within that little space there. So once again, any suggestions while I've got most of the long weekend off, I will be tackling that part of the park. Let's see if I don't get called into work. If I get called into work, then yeah, Monday's episode is going to be very rushed of trying to fill that area. But working this part out was pretty hard, trying to work out a sort of style that fitted in, as this only has like 2 or 3 separate garden beds and then a huge sign in it in real life. So I wanted to recreate as much as that as we could, just to break up this area so it's not just a big empty block. And I thought, well, this works kind of well, of like it's like advertising the cryogenics lab where Nora is stored, so they would have signs out the front obviously stating that where this building is located. So initially I did want to have the car driving through that was going to be all wrecked and I'd have tire scratches going along it, but yes, we've picked something what I believe is a lot better. So once again, this is just a quick little update. It's not much really left to go in here. So enjoy your long weekend. Make sure you have a great day. Comment down below, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Little tongue tied now. See yous.